Hello guys, welcome to another video of May the Codes Be With You, and today we are doing the problem set matrix zeros. This is a coding round and coding interviews problem which has come in many companies like Adobe, Amazon, Microsoft, Oracle and so on. So it is available on Leetcode as well as on InterviewBit, and today we will do this on InterviewBit instead of Leetcode. Okay, so here is the question. You can pause and read the question. Here is an example. Now I'll explain you the question and the solution. So what the question says is that if we encounter a 0, then we set the entire row and entire column as 0. So as you can see, the entire row and the entire column is set as 0. Here is another example. Here we have encountered 0 here, so we have made this row 0 and this column 0. And similarly here we have encountered 0 here, and we have converted this row and this column as 0. Okay, here is another question. I want you to pause and try it out yourself first, then I'll do it. Okay, so we have encountered 0 here, so we will do this entire row as 0 and this column as 0. So no 0, no 0, no 0, no 0, no 0. Similarly, no 0. Here we have encountered 0 here, so we'll do this row as 0 and this column as 0. So the first approach that I could think of from the top of my head is the brute force approach, in which I will visit each element, and if I encounter a 0, and I'll visit each element and I'll take a return array, and whenever I encounter a 0, I'll run a loop to set all the elements of the row and all the elements of that column as 0. So let's try the brute force first. We have encountered 1, so here I'll just input 1. Here we have encountered 0, so I'll input 0. Then I'll run loops to change all the row elements as 0, then all the column elements as 0. Now I have encountered another one. I'll do nothing because it is already 0. Then I'll encountered another one. I'll input 1, do nothing as it is 0 here. Then I have encountered another one. I'll input it here. Similarly for this one. And for this 0, I'll change all the elements of the row and the column as 0. As the column is already filled, we don't need to change it, but as it is brute force, we will again change them to 0 here and here. And then we have encountered 1, do nothing. So this is a brute force approach, and it is of the order of O n cube. So obviously we can think of a better solution. So let's see the better solution.
2 hours later.
So here is another approach which will solve it in O n square. Okay, so here are the steps. First we will create a row visited boolean array of size equal to number of rows, and we'll call it as row visited. Then we'll create a column visited boolean array and call it column visited. Then we'll check every element of the 2D array. If it is equal to 0, then we'll do row visited I equal to true and column visited j equal to true. And then we'll travel the 2D array again, and if row visited I or column visited j equal to true, then we'll do array ij equal to 0. Then we'll just simply return the array. Okay, so let's do a run through. Here is our row visited and column visited array we have created, and initially all of them are false, so let's check every element of the 2D array. Here we encounter 1, we'll do nothing. Here we encounter 0, so we'll turn this as true, and similarly column 2 as true. Then 1 will do nothing, similarly 1 will do nothing, 1 will do nothing, 1 will do nothing, 1 will do nothing, and then at 0 we will turn the last row as true, and the second column is already true, and at 1 we will do nothing. So we are not taking another array, we are just making changes to the same array, so the space complexity will be okay in this new approach. So let's do the third step. We'll travel the 2D array again. If the row visited is true or column visited is true, then we'll do array ij equal to 0. So at 0 all of them are true, so it is 0, 0 and 0. Similarly for this and this, and now we'll come here. As this value is not true, we'll do 1 here, but this value for this one it is true, so we'll do a 0 here, and for this it is not true, so we'll do a 1. Similarly for this it is a 0, so we'll do 0, 0 and another 0. So here is our return array. So let's see the code. So here is our Java code. So we have taken an integer as rows and columns that contains the row size and column size. Then we are doing our step 1, which is creating two boolean arrays of row visited and column visited. Then we are doing our step 2, which is checking every element of the row, and if it is 0, then we are turning that row visited I and column visited j as true. And then we are at our step 3, in which we are checking every element again, but we are checking for this condition. If row visited I or column visited j is true, then we are setting the value of that particular cell as 0. Here we don't need to return the array, as the return type of this function is void. Similarly, we can do this in C++, and this question is available in Leetcode as well. So if you have any doubts, you can drop a comment below, and the code is available in the description. So let's submit our code and see. Let's test first. Okay, it's compiling. Correct answer. Let's submit it. Okay, compilation successful. Correctness. It is loading. Sometimes it takes a while. Yes, and we have got the correct answer, and we have gotten 300 out of 300 points. Thank you. Thank you guys, and may the codes be with you.